His competitors laughed at his steam bucket. They called it a toy, a joke, a fantasy. But 1 month later, that same joke destroyed their entire business model and changed the way the world moves food forever. Buffalo Harbor, autumn 1842. The air was thick with the sour smell of rotting wheat. A forest of ship masts jammed the waterfront, vessels trapped in a gridlock that lasted not hours, but weeks. The Erie Canal had unleashed a flood of grain from America's interior, more wheat than anyone had imagined, more wheat than human hands could possibly move. And that was the crisis. Stevedores, the dock workers who loaded and unloaded ships by hand, worked non-stop, bent under 120-pound sacks, hoisting thousands of bushels with tools that hadn't changed in centuries. America could grow limitless grain, but it couldn't move it. This was the bottleneck threatening to collapse the entire agricultural economy. Biology, human muscle, could no longer keep up with physics. And yet, the solution was already sitting in a forgotten patent archive.
60 years earlier, Delaware inventor Oliver Evans had built something extraordinary. A system that could move grain automatically. No shovels, no sacks, no human labor. He combined screw conveyors with bucket elevators to turn milling into a continuous, automated flow. But Evans was too early. Steam power wasn't ready. Industrial manufacturing wasn't ready. American agriculture wasn't big enough yet. His invention slept for decades, until Buffalo's crisis finally woke it up. And the man who revived it wasn't an engineer. He wasn't a scientist. He wasn't even an inventor. He was a businessman on the edge of bankruptcy, Joseph Dart. Dart owned ships, warehouses, and grain, but none of it mattered if his wheat sat rotting in Buffalo Harbor. He read Evans' forgotten ideas: buckets on a belt, powered by steam, lifting grain vertically without human hands. Evans built small machines for flour mills. Buffalo needed something 20 times bigger. So Dart found an engineer named Robert Dunbar, and together they spent the winter of 1842 building a structure America had never seen before. A wooden tower 50 by 100 feet. Inside, a continuous belt lined with iron buckets driven by a roaring steam engine. A marine leg, a long arm, lowered directly into the ship's hold. The buckets scooped grain upward, lifting 600 bushels per hour, then 2,000, faster than any stevedore crew in history. When the machine started on June 1st, 1843, the waterfront changed overnight. What once took a week now took hours. Ships that sat idle for days could unload and return the same afternoon. Buffalo's bottleneck evaporated. And suddenly, the same merchants who mocked Dart's steam bucket, the same competitors who laughed at his absurd wooden tower, were watching their businesses die. Within 2 years, they were all copying him. By 1860, Buffalo had 10 major grain elevators. By 1865, 26. The city became the largest grain port in the world, bigger than London, Rotterdam, or Odessa. But Dart didn't just speed up unloading. He changed the nature of grain itself. Before Dart, grain was a solid, a thing men carried in sacks. After Dart, grain became a flow, measured not in bags, but in bushels per hour. His machine turned grain into something that moved like a liquid. And that idea triggered a century of innovation. Thomas Robbins created the steel-reinforced rubber conveyor belt, giving grain horizontal movement without shovels. Peter Pakosh made the portable grain auger, giving farmers the same power Dart gave to ports. Lyle Yost mounted an auger on the combine, letting grain unload while harvesting, creating continuous, unstoppable flow. From Evans's dusty patent, to Dart's wooden tower, to the autonomous harvest systems we use today, Every breakthrough came from the same idea. Grain should never stop moving, and human hands should never have to lift it. Dart didn't just solve Buffalo's crisis, he solved America's greatest bottleneck. He turned the harvest from a burden into a current, a river of steel driven by steam, then by engines, and now by automation. All because one man refused to accept that grain had to be carried when it could be made to flow.